Even back in the old school days, there had been technology in schools. Overhead projectors, slide projectors, 16mm film projectors. We've had lots of technology. Most of these types of technology were used by the teacher to teach to the students. Teachers used the technology, students watched the teachers use the technology, and students rarely, if ever, were allowed to use the technology. For all this time, schools have been providing technology to students. And while it was nice to go to the computer lab once in a while, or have the cart of laptops visit the classroom on occasion, students for the most part could not make technology part of their everyday learning experience. It simply was too expensive to give every student all the technology they needed. Then something exciting happened. Technology started to become more affordable. So affordable, in fact, that almost any student could access it. Desktop computers that once cost thousands of dollars now cost a few hundred. Same with laptop computers. Then came smartphones, which promised the ability for students to carry with them the sum total of human knowledge in a device no larger than a deck of cards. But there were problems with these devices. Students could carry them sometimes, but not all the time. Could use them at some schools, but not all schools. Could use them before school or after school, but not during school, and certainly not during class time. And of course, students did not use them for academic purposes. They used them mainly for entertainment purposes. In EPISD, we are moving quickly to get away from some of those practices of the past that have not only held up the use of technology, but have, in some cases, held our students back from achieving their full potential. One of the new practices is BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device. Recent policy changes made by our Board of Managers have now made it possible for teachers and librarians to allow students to bring their own personal electronic devices into classrooms to be used for academic purposes. BYOD gives teachers the opportunity to get their students up and running with technology by allowing students to use the devices they are most familiar with, their own. And while it may seem intimidating at first, remember that you have 100% control over when devices can and cannot be used in your classroom. If you want students to use devices, you can allow it. If you don't, you can allow that as well. One aspect of BYOD that is probably of concern to all teachers is how can they manage all of these different devices all at the same time? Well, with just a few simple tricks and with the help of a traffic light, you can control student use of electronic devices with no problem at all. EPISD is using a simple device at all grade levels to help students and teachers understand when it is and when it is not appropriate to use BYOD devices in their class. That device is a traffic light. We think that almost everyone is familiar with the red, yellow, and green signals of a traffic light, from our kindergartners all the way up to our seniors. Red means stop, green means go, and yellow means caution. These posters, available to all teachers for hanging in their classrooms, are designed to immediately show students if they can or cannot use their personal electronic devices in class. Pointing to red means that BYOD devices will not be used in class today, and students should not have them out. Pointing to yellow means that students should ask their teacher first before bringing out their devices, and that they should not bring them out until teacher gives full approval to do so. A green light means that students are free to use their devices for academic purposes that day in class. They do not need permission. This simple concept of red, yellow, and green will be used across the district in all grade levels and all classes that are using BYOD. Teachers and librarians have the final say on whether or not students can use their own electronic devices. One way to get students back on task while using devices is to ask them to put their devices screen down on their desks. That way, students cannot see the screen and will not be tempted to use the device when the teacher does not wish it. Of course, simply asking students to put their device away in a backpack or under their desk will also do the trick. If you consider electronic devices as just another classroom tool that students use, it is easier to simply use your already excellent classroom management techniques to control when and where students can use these devices. Students need to also understand that outside of the class, the campus rules for cell phone and electronic device use are still in place. Devices can still be confiscated for misuse. Our students also need to be reminded that BYOD is not a right, it is a privilege. Students can actually lose their ability to bring their devices to school if they break or misuse rules as outlined in the Student Code of Conduct or if they break campus rules. No rules have changed when it comes to accessing content or not following directions. If students are caught breaking the rules, they can lose their BYOD privileges. We are confident that students, with a little help from our teachers and librarians, will be able to properly use their own electronic devices throughout the EPISD. EPISD is moving forward with a strong 21st century learning push. BYOD is just one of several Learning 21 initiatives that we will be introducing in the coming months. EPISD is a district on the move, and the move is towards the future. For more information about EPISD's BYOD initiative, please visit the Learning 21 website